Good Friday morning, and thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet, the voice you know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by the Family Forest Carbon Program, where we help family forest owners get paid to improve the health of their woods. Well, it is day number 2 of the Ohio FFA Convention at the Expo Center in Columbus. The day begins at 8 o'clock with the Career Show and Expo opening up, as well as registration. At 9:30 will be the start of the 4th session with officer awards being presented, as well as career development event recognition and the Agri-Science Fair Awards. Powered by soy biodiesel, be sure to tune in at midday today as Dale will be broadcasting from the convention, and all our convention coverage brought to us by Wilmington College. Visit wilmington.edu. Well, taking a quick look at your agricultural headlines, the 2025-26 state FFA ballot has been announced. The following FFA members are finalists for the 25-26 FFA state officer ballot. This came out this morning at the first session of the state convention. The officer team announcement and installation would take place then coming up tomorrow afternoon. Selected for state president, the candidates are Carter Boyd from Hillsboro, Great Oaks FFA, and Lena Gordon from Licking Valley FFA. For the state vice president, 2 candidates, Henry Huslington from Bloom Carroll FFA and Audrey Boshart from Utica FFA. For state secretary, we have Abby Garland from Talawanda Butler Tech FFA and Melinda Wesley from Utica FFA. For state treasurer, Racy Boyer from Warren FFA and Taylor Johnson from Evergreen. Candidates slated for state reporter include Isabella Nardicea from Wayne County Career Center and Austin Manning from Ripley Union Lewis Huntington FFA. And slated for state sentinel, Melanie Bowes from Upper Sandusky FFA and Paris Anderson from Big Walnut. Best of luck to all the candidates. The Ohio Small Grains Marketing Program is announcing upcoming elections. These will take place in July of this year. Now, the Ohio Small Grains Marketing Program is a checkoff program. They provide support to help Ohio farmers, and by working together, they're maximizing efforts to help educate and promote Ohio-grown small grains across the state, the nation, and the world. The Ohio Small Grains Checkoff is committed to supporting local growers by focusing on exports, research, and promotion of the wheat industry. Now, the election to the board will include 3 different districts in Ohio. District 4, which includes Paulding, Putnam, and Van Wert counties. District 5, which is Hancock, Hardin, and Wyandotte. And District 6, which is Allen, Auglaize, Logan, Mercer, and Shelby counties. If you're interested, you can pick up a petition from the Ohio Department of Agriculture or contact the ODA. Petitions have to have at least 25 valid signatures from small grain producers and need to be returned to the department by June the 1st of this year. If you have questions, you can contact David Mirren Jr. at 800-282-1955. Well, let's get a look at your Friday morning weather forecast and on through the weekend and next week. This forecast brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com.
Got some damp weather here to finish the week and go through the weekend. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Let's take a look at that Ohio Ag Weather Update. A frontal boundary worked its way into Ohio yesterday, bringing some precipitation with it. That frontal boundary has stalled down in the southern parts of Ohio and northern parts of Kentucky. With that stalled frontal boundary, it's going to be providing a little bit of a superhighway for moisture to come into our neck of the woods. So not as much rain potentially here today, but definitely this afternoon and evening we can see scattered showers trying to reemerge. And the weekend, unfortunately, also looks wetter. Low pressure seems to get cut off from the jet stream and just want to sit and circulate over Appalachia and back into our neck of the woods here. So I'm keeping showers in the forecast for all of Saturday. And right now, all of Sunday. I think as we look at the weekend overall, we have to pencil in at least another 1/4 to 1.5 inches of rain, depending on where you're at, with this pesky low just sitting here. Even early next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're still seeing the remains of this circulation. Maybe the moisture's done. It's rained itself out. But we are going to be seeing clouds here, which means we're not going to be evaporating super quickly for that period. Finally getting some dry down in later in the week, Thursday, Friday. But we're also watching significant shower and thunderstorm activity move through the Tennessee Valley and into the deep south. It's going to be hard-pressed to keep that from trying to lift north at least a little bit here. So all things considered, it's a much wetter forecast than what we were seeing earlier this week for the weekend and next week. And I think that we need to keep that umbrella handy. If you've got crop in the ground, this is probably quite nice for you over the weekend combined. I think from today right on through Monday morning, we could be as much as 2 inches across the region. So it's going to be a wet one. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more after this.
Think biodiesel is just another fuel? Think again. Biodiesel is Ohio innovation on the move. clean, green, and built to keep diesel engines running strong. It's an engine booster, a soybean supporter, and an environmental champion all in one. Every gallon reduces emissions, strengthens Ohio farms, and powers your ride. Drive with purpose. Choose biodiesel. Learn how at soyohio.org.
Let's check in now with some updates from our outstanding student reporters at the State FFA Convention.
Hello, my name is Cole Bauman with Ohio AgNet, and joining us today is Callie Finnegan, who just won an Ohio Star in Agribusiness. So Callie, could you tell me a little bit about yourself and kind of what got you into FFA?
So I've always been around FFA. I've always been around agriculture. I've lived on a huge farm my entire life, and my mom's an agriculture educator at Firelands. So it's just always been in my life, and it's always been just like a thing that I was 100% going to do when I got to high school, and I was so excited to do it. So when I got to high school, it was just definitely something I needed to do.
Well, that's great, and congratulations to you again. So could you tell us a little bit about your SAE that earned you your star?
So my SAE started out with me buying this green broke pony. I took her to a barn to board her, and then people at that barn started watching me work with this horse and started asking me to work with their horses, and then working with their horses led to me training their horses, and then training horses led to me training their kids and giving lessons. So that's just really how my SAE has progressed, and it's just been really cool throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, that's an amazing business, and I appreciate how you kind of walked us through each step of the process to get there. So now kind of a fun question to end off. So we know you already have an outstanding SAE, but could you tell us what your favorite CD is and why?
So my favorite CD used to always be horse judging, but unfortunately I went to nationals for that, or fortunately, depending on how you see that, I went to nationals for that last year. So now I'd have to say that Vet Science is my favorite CD.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to meet with me today, and thank you for tuning in to Ohio AgNet. I'm Cole Bauman.
Thanks, Cole. Now let's check in with Alexis White.
Hello, I am Alexis White, and joining us today is Joanna Hamilton, the Ohio Star in Agriscience. So tell me about yourself and how you got into the FFA.
Yeah, so my name is Joanna Hamilton. I'm a current freshman at the University of Cincinnati. I'm majoring in nursing, and I started FFA in 8th grade. I started because my brother and older sister had done it. I live on a 30-head beef cattle farm, so FFA and agriculture has always been a really major component of my story, and I was really excited to join the organization when I had the opportunity to do so.
That's awesome. I love that background. So tell me a little bit about your SAE.
Yeah, so I conducted 5 agri-science research projects. My first 2 were in power, technical, and structural systems, so I looked at heat lamps. And then my next 3 were actually in chocolate chip cookies, and then what people thought about those chocolate chip cookies. So it was really diverse. I loved what I got to do, and I got to work with incredible mentors and grow so much along each one of those projects.
Nice. So my last question is, what is a key takeaway that you have gotten from the FFA, and how will you continue to carry that on with you?
Yeah, I think it's so important to have really good mentors around you. Throughout all my agri-science research projects, I had incredible mentors. Dr. Paul Snyder at The Ohio State University taught me so much about food science, and I really attribute so much of my success to having really strong people behind me who are willing to bring me up alongside and just really enhance every ability that I had and teach me. And I think as I go through every endeavor throughout my life, I want to find mentors who have been there, who have done it, and who are willing to show me the ropes. And I think that's such an invaluable thing.
Thank you for being with us here today and tuning in with Ohio AgNet. I'm Alexis White.
And thanks, Alexis. Now let's check in with an update from Tara Kramer.
Hi, I'm Tara Kramer, and I'm with Ohio AgNet. And joining us today is Delaney Jones, who earned her Ohio Star Farmers Award. Delaney, tell us about yourself and how you got involved in the FFA.
Hi, so I'm so excited to be here today. My name's Delaney Jones. My project is raising a herd of registered Angus cattle that I breed to produce and sell some show females and also some bulls and steers here and there. But I really have enjoyed what I'm doing, and I've done it since as long as I can remember. But I got into the FFA. It was actually my freshman year was my school's first year getting FFA back after 35 years. So I was super excited to get the opportunity to do it. And it's something, although I'm not in high school anymore, it's something I really enjoyed doing throughout high school.
That's awesome. So I'm also going to ask you another question. Tell us about your SAE and that helped you receive your Star Farmer Award.
Yes, so like I said, my SAE is a herd of beef cattle. I really have enjoyed doing it. It's something that my family has done since I was born. I mean, it's just something I was kind of born into, but something I really took up as my passion. I've been able to market cattle all across the country and win some big shows with the stuff I've been able to produce. So it was super exciting to get the opportunity to get to show that through FFA.
Yeah, that's fantastic that you got to show that. And last question, reflecting on your FFA experience, what advice would you have for your younger self?
I would say go into everything with confidence. I was somebody that was scared to get out in front of crowds and kind of talk about my passion and kind of get out there, but FFA has shown me that it's okay to be passionate about what you're passionate about, and it's okay to speak up and have confidence in what you're doing, and it's something I'm really glad I was able to get the opportunity to do.
Oh, I love that. Thank you, Delaney, for joining us today. This is Tara Kramer with Ohio AgNet.
Thanks, Tara, and great job to all of our Ohio AgNet student reporters for bringing us those great updates, and stay tuned throughout the day as we will have more from the Ohio FFA Convention. Stay tuned, we'll be back with more after this.
Get ready to start bidding on a massive variety of heavy equipment and vehicles in the Ritchie Brothers Great Lakes Regional event happening May 14th and 15th. More than 3,700 items will cross the auction block during a one-of-a-kind sale, including everything from truck tractors, van trucks, and trailers to excavators, scrapers, and equipment for construction and landscaping. Registration for this unique unreserved auction is entirely free and open to the public. Visit rbauction.com to learn more. Again, that's rbauction.com.
Let's take a look at what's impacting our markets. Today's market analysis is brought to you by the Louis Dreyfus Company. Excited to be building the newest state-of-the-art soybean crush facility in Upper Sandusky, Ohio. Phone 574-566-2113 for information on soybean marketing to LDC. Here's Ryan Martin.
Grain markets finished the Thursday session mixed overall. Soybeans gaining about 5 to 6 cents. Corn down at 3 or so on old crop, but slightly higher. Call it a penny on new crop. Wheat markets were mixed in Chicago, anywhere from a quarter penny up to about a half penny down. KC and Minneapolis both traded lower. The only place we saw green overall in the wheat contracts were in the delivery month. That is the May. So what was the main driver? Well, we actually saw a slow grain trade because Argentina is on a holiday. Not much here that we have to worry about, but of course overseas, the May Day period is a little bit more interesting on the holiday side. The value of the U.S. dollar was really looked at due to the jobs report that came out. Let's talk about that here first as we take a look at the Labor Department numbers that come out on Friday morning. The report is expected to show a slowing in hiring because of Trump tariffs. However, this week's unemployment insurance filings rose by about 241,000 claims, continuing claims rising to 1.92. Up the largest amount since November of 2021. So what does the U.S. dollar do depending on how that report comes out tomorrow? How does that impact exports? Well, here at the local exports, I don't think we see a whole lot of change as we're just not getting much business. Now, weekly export sales report did show about 2.6 million bushels of old crop wheat to 8.8 million bushels of new crop. Corn sales were rather strong. Nearly 40 million bushels. Soybean sales came in at about 15.5 million bushels. So when we talk about it year on year, as we like to do here right now, we're still much better off than last year. Corn sales up wheat sales up 93 million bushels from last year. Corn up 473 million bushels. Beans up 202 million bushels. This suggests that maybe we see a corn export estimate go up in an upcoming WASDE. I don't think it's going to be the May report, but we'll see. And also, there could be a little bit of an adjustment in soybean exports as well. The wheat exports could be trimmed a bit, but I doubt we'll see that until we get into switching to the different crop year. Otherwise, the stories were the same as what we've seen all the way through the past week, just not a lot of excitement. Basically, weather is putting planting progress on the front track or front burner to get done sooner, and that always helps our crop growth, development, and eventually yields. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Let's take a look at how your markets closed, brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. July corn closed down 3 1/4 cents, and December corn was up 1 penny. July soybeans closed up 5 3/4, while November soybeans were up 5 3/4 cents. July Kansas City wheat closed down 2 cents, while July Chicago wheat was up 1/4 penny, and July Minneapolis wheat was down 1 1/2 cents. Taking a look at the overnight trade, May corn is unchanged at $4.64 1/4 cents, but December new crop corn's up 1 penny at $4.48 1/4. May soybeans are down 3/4 penny at $10.39 1/2, with November new crop beans up 5 3/4 at $10.29 3/4, and wheat for July up 3 1/2 cents at $5.34 1/2. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day, everyone. You're listening to the Ohio AgNet.